Hello, dear students of English 3. Welcome to your final Zoom meeting of the class. Wow, it's already the final round, and I'm really happy. I'm really delighted to have the chance to be your English instructor for this subject. Okay, today it's Saturday evening, and we're gonna be working on session 12. So it's the last Zoom meeting, but on session 13, you are going to have your final exam, right? So for today's session, we're going to be working or we're going to try to cover all the contents and activities we have that we have prepared for session 12. We're going to be based on unit 8, what's your neighborhood like? Okay, this is our lesson meeting of the class. And for today's lesson, we're gonna take a quick look at the introductory video. And at the end, then during this session, I'm gonna be explaining to you the contents and activities that we're gonna be working with. Okay, let's take a quick look at this introductory video.
Welcome guys to another session of English 3. Let's go ahead and take a look at the topics we'll be covering for this lesson. So we're going to start off with a couple practice exercises based on vocabulary, and then we have another one, right definition of some of the places of these places. Then we're gonna listen to a conversation, read and listen to the conversation about I am your new neighbor, and just pay attention to the there is and there are, one, any, and some, which is the topic of our next grammar focus. There is, there are, one, any, and some. Okay. And then of course we're gonna have a few explanations of there is, there are, how to choose. There is, there are. Also, we have some English grammar rules for that. And then we have a couple of practice exercises that are not accumulative. Okay. And then we're going to jump in right to our session exercises, which are cumulative. And these are based on there is and there are. This is our first set of exercises. Okay. Then we have a video, there is and there are, for English speaking practice. Okay. Moving on, we have a couple other videos, grammar quiz with there is and there are, and then it's there is, there are, there's, and there are exercises for TEFL and TOEFL or EFL happy. We're gonna take a look at a snapshot about common complaints about neighbors and what are some of the complaints that we have with our own neighbors. And then we're gonna have another conversation talking about neighbors as well and our neighborhood specifically. It's pretty safe. Okay, talks about a new apartment, moving in into a new neighborhood. And that leads us to our next grammar topic, which is about quantifiers, how much and how many and how much. Okay, that takes us to quantifiers practice exercise. Well, you will be writing answers to questions about your neighborhood. And then we're gonna see a lesson. Okay, and then of course we are going to see some English grammar of how much and how many as well. And then we have the difference. We have an image with the differences between how much and how many. Okay. And then we have just a roadmap on things that we can we can just put in our thoughts, and how when to use how many with countable nouns and how much with uncountable nouns. Okay, that will take us to the next topic, which is video. What's the difference? What's the difference with how much and how many? Then we have exercise about how much and how many.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for taking the time and the space in order to take a quick look at this introductory video. Okay, Now we're gonna be working on how much, how many, but before to get started, we're going to make a practice exercise. This is not part of the cumulative process. However, we need to reinforce, we need to practice, and we need to refresh previous knowledge that we had been working before in previous sessions. Match the vocabulary word with the definition. We're gonna have two attempts. If we fail in the first one, we can make it better in the second one. Okay. Barber shop. So that will be in here with letter D. Grocery store. Okay. Grocery stores will be sells food. That will be the definition. Laundromat washes and dries clothes. Library, that will be lends books. Okay. Stationery store. Okay. Theater, that will be area in which plays and other dramatic performances are given. Travel agency makes reservations for a trip. Okay. And stationery store will be sells cards and paper. We're going to submit them, and now we are going to send them in order to know which are right or wrong. That was all of them were good answers. Excellent. We're gonna have our second practice exercise. Write the definition for these places. Also, we have two attempts. If you fill in the first one, we can make it better. Clothing store will be the place where you can buy different items of clothing. Clothing such as t-shirt, skirt, pants, etc. Okay. For drugstore is the place where you can buy medicines when you are sick, right? Also in here, we have a video about how much and how many. This is quantifier for countable and uncountable nouns. Let's take a quick look at this video tutorial.
Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about two things: question words and quantity words. But to start, we need to review countable and uncountable nouns. A countable noun is something that you can count, like this: 1 banana, 2 bananas, 1 jar, 2 jars, 1 carton, 2 cartons. Uncountable nouns are things that we can't count, like frozen yogurt, milk, bread, or jam. When we want to ask questions about different quantities, we can use two question words: how many and how much. We use how many for countable nouns. For example, how many bananas do we eat? Bananas are countable, so we use how many. We use how much for uncountable nouns. For example, how much milk have you got? We can't exactly count milk, so how much is the way to go? So how do we answer these questions? With quantity words. Our friend a lot of is going to help us. It means a big quantity of something. We could use a lot of to talk about a big quantity of both countable and uncountable nouns. For example, how many eggs do we have? We have a lot of eggs. How much yogurt do we have? We have a lot of yogurt. We also have some other words for expressing a big quantity of something. They are many and much. We can always use a lot of with both countable and uncountable nouns. We can also use many with countable nouns and much with uncountable nouns. But we use many and much more in negative sentences, like these. For example, how many eggplants have we got? Oof, only one eggplant. We haven't got many eggplants. How much bread have we got? Oof, only half a loaf. We haven't got much bread. So in conclusion, we have question words and quantity words. And we have countable nouns, which are things you can count, and uncountable nouns, which are things you can't. If we want to ask a question about a countable noun, we use how many. And for uncountable nouns, we use how much. To express a big quantity of a countable noun, we can use a lot of or many in negative sentences. For uncountable nouns, we can also use a lot of or much in negative sentences.
Wow, thank you very much. What a great explanation we already have in this video tutorial. Okay, moving on. Also, we have another interesting and amazing video tutorial talking about how much and how many. Okay, this is just the right video for you to identify when to use how much and when to use how many. Let's take a quick look at this video tutorial as well.
When we want to know the quantity or amount of something, we ask questions starting with how much and how many. But what is the difference? How much is used with uncountable nouns. How much time do we have? How much sugar would you like? How much money did you spend? How many is only used with plural countable nouns. How many people are invited? How many cousins do you have? How many books did you buy? Sometimes, how much can be used with singular or plural countable nouns. In this situation, how much means we want to know the price of something. How much is this book? How much are these shoes? Often, the noun is omitted or dropped from the question when it is obvious what we're talking about. For example, I would like to buy some cheese, please. How much would you like? This means, how much cheese would you like? The noun cheese is not necessary after how much, since we already know we're talking about cheese. In fact, it is normally dropped to avoid sounding repetitive. More examples. I need some plates. How many do you need? How many refers to how many plates. We use how many because plates is a countable noun. We need to buy more rice. How much do we need? How much refers to how much rice. We use how much because rice is uncountable. Let's practice. Do we use how much or how many in these questions? Pause this video so that you have time to complete this exercise. When you are ready, click play again to hear the answers. How much work do you have to do? How many countries have you visited? How many students are in the room? How much does that dress cost? How much milk is in the fridge? How many days were you there? How much food did you eat? How many planets are there in our solar system? Did you know we also have a video about other uses of much and many? I recommend watching it. Now it is your turn. Give us an example of how much and how many in the comments. I'll check your answers. I hope you found this video useful. Have an awesome day.
Thank you very much. Now we have questions with how much and how many. This is grammar explanation, and please try to pay attention to this explanation, right? Whenever we want to find out the quantity of something, we have to ways to ask, right? In this case, how much for uncountable nouns and how many for countable nouns. The words much and many mean a lot of. It means a big quantity of something. If a noun is in singular, we use much. Example, much money. Even now, it's plural, we use many. Example, many friends. Um, Countable and uncountable nouns. In connection with much and many, often speak of countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns have singular and plural form. In plural, these nouns can be used with a number. That's why they're called countable nouns. Countable nouns take many. Example, 100 friends, many friends. For uncountable nouns can only be used in singular. These nouns cannot be used with a number. That's why they are called uncountable nouns. And uncountable nouns take much. Example, 100 money, much money. Note, of course, you can count money, but then you will name the currency and say that you have got $5, but not 5 money. Examples, how much money do you have? How many people live in your city? How much does that book cost? How much rice is there? And so on and so on. Also in here, how much and how many. In this case, when we want to know the quantity or amount of something, we ask questions starting with how much and how many. How much for quantity? How much is used with uncountable nouns. And we have the grammar structure to make statements. How much plus uncountable noun? How much time do we have to finish the test? How much money do you spend? How much sugar would you like in your coffee? How much paper will I need? How much milk is in the fridge? How much traffic was there on the way to work? If the verb to be is used with an uncountable noun, it is in singular form, is or was, etc. How much for price? In this case, how much can also be used when we want to know the price of something. In this case, we can use how much with countable nouns, both singular and plural. How much is that painting? How much are those shoes? How much do your jacket cost? How much is the dress on display in the window? How much will it cost me? How much does it cost? How many for quantity? How many is used when we want to know the quantity of something, and it is only used with plural countable nouns. How many plus plural noun? How many days are there in January? How many people work in your company? How many cousins do you have? How many books do you buy? How many countries are there in the world? How many students are in the class right now? How many chairs are there in this room? How many pieces of chocolate would you like? Admitting the noun, often the noun it's admitting in the question when it is obvious that we are talking about. I would like to buy some cheese. How much cheese would you like? The noun cheese is not necessary after how much, since we already know we are talking about cheese. In fact, it is normally admitted to avoid something repetitive. um More examples: I need some coins. How many do you need? Oh yes, I need some sugar. How much do you need? Difference between many versus much. This is an image, and then we have the difference: how many with plural nouns, how much for singular nouns. Okay, countable and uncountable. Also, we have a video tutorial talking about much and how many. Okay, we have different videos for you to take a look at it and then to discuss.
Many. In this lesson, I will go through the difference between these two words. Essentially, they both mean the same thing. They refer to a large amount of something. However, we use them in different contexts. Much is used with uncountable nouns. It refers to a large amount. Now I will go through 3 types of sentences in which we can use the word much: a positive sentence, a negative sentence, and a question. For example, the party was so much fun. The uncountable noun in this sentence is fun. I didn't get much sleep last night. This is an example of a negative sentence. The uncountable noun in this sentence is sleep. How much money do you have? Many. Many is used with countable nouns. Again, it refers to a large amount. For example, she has many friends. The countable noun in this sentence is friends. So we're saying that she has a large number of friends. There aren't many people here. The countable noun in this sentence is people. How many properties do you own? The countable noun in this sentence is properties.
How people are there? Letter B, that will be the answer. Okay, so let's write it. Okay, you see, letter B was the right answer for that statement. How many people are there? Okay, she has. Letter B will be also the answer. She has many pets. Let's find out. Absolutely great. Okay. You are talking to, that will be letter A for sure. You are talking too much. Okay, very good. This is, these are just some uh, practice, some practice exercise for you to make, okay? Also in here, we're going to have another video tutorial about how many and how much. This is for beginners. This is an elementary level. Videos for English teacher and students. Okay, now let's count the rice. So it means that we can we can count. It's an uncountable noun. We said we said 3 bowls of rice. There are uncountable, sorry, these are uncountable nouns: rice, milk, water, wine, chocolate, bread, and so on. Okay. Also, you're going to have a video practice how much and how many for you to practice. And then you're going to have another speaking practice video about how much and how many. And at the end of this session, guys, you're going to have your evaluated exercise. Use how much or how many to complete the questions. This exercise, you will have in this exercise 2 attempts. If you fail on the first one, you're going to have the second one to make it better. How, in this case, country is countable. How many countries are there in the world? But I'm just explaining to you with one example. The other ones you need to make it by yourself. And that will be everything. If you notice, the first one was absolutely correct, but the other ones you need to make it by yourself. Okay. So if, do you have any question, guys? I listen to you. If you have any question, please ask me. You can ask all, you can also ask through the WhatsApp group. I will be replying you back. For those students who were not able to get joined to the Zoom meeting, let's remember that in here at the platform, we have the linking section. So it means that for every single student who was unable to attend the Zoom meeting, you won't have any excuses to say, teacher, I couldn't be able to. get joined, but you can be in the linking section and you can click on the different or in the specific session that you miss, and then it will take you up a full recap of that session that you missed. Okay, thank you very much for your time, and it was a pleasure for me to have you in this last Zoom meeting. Okay, goodbye and take care, everybody.